All right, we are finally live. No intro this time. I'm working on changing up the intro for the show, but man, it's been a while since we've been actually live in the flesh. I've just been super busy, guys. I had that video scheduled video come out for you guys. That lore video on Tar Vizsla. Had a lot of fun making that. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Then I believe last week, or was it the week before, finally me and Dustin broke down our tier list of all the Star Wars movies. But insider info, that was recorded all the way back in August before Ahsoka even came out. I had a lot of fun. Um, yeah, yeah, it's been a while. It was just kind of setting up the stream. Background looks a little different. There's some fun stuff to talk about. Um, Obviously, we're now back in that lull period, right? Where we have no Ahsoka's been out for a few weeks now, like fully out. There's no Star Wars content, but what do we get over the Halloween weekend? Something I was not expecting in the slightest. And yeah, I like watching South Park. Just a disclaimer: South Park is definitely intended for mature audiences, but I was not expecting to see Kathleen Kennedy, of all people, in a South Park episode and being featured as basically like the main villain, like the main anti-hero. Yeah, it's been what, like almost a month. Yeah, I've been super busy, guys. But yeah, it was a crazy bit of Star Wars roasting, completely unexpected. Fully agreed there, Dan. What's up? What's up, JQ? What's up, Icy? Thanks for swinging by early on in the chat. But yeah, I'm just gonna be kind of kicking back, giving my thoughts about that South Park fiasco with Kathleen Kennedy. Giving my thoughts of where Star Wars is at as a whole, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I would like, traditionally, I like to stay, mostly positive, but I want to talk about all things Star Wars. And when South Park is making a parody about the president of Lucasfilm, things are in a tough spot. Charlie Power hit me with a question I feel like answering. Do you play a Rocket League anymore? I do play Rocket League. Play for the University of Minnesota team. But yeah, I still play Rocket League, but not as much as I used to, I'll say. I'm a busy guy. I mean, heck, I can't even make it to my show. But no, we're back. This is number 15 of the Bismo Show. Super excited about that. Man, we're already getting pretty good milestones. A couple other announcements. I'm going to be traveling to the Twin Cities Comic Con tomorrow with my buddy. The Twin Cities Comic Con. Timothy Zahn is going to be there. The creator of this guy, Thrawn himself, along with Ashley Eckstein, who voices Ahsoka from the Clone Wars, Matt Lanter, and James Arnold Taylor. So Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka Clone Wars voice actors. I'm only gonna be there probably for Friday. But there looks like there's a panel with Timothy Zahn on Friday that I'll be able to go to. So that would be cool. Hopefully I get to meet Timothy Zahn. If I get some cool pictures, I'll let you guys know. But I'm just putting out there, if anyone was planning to go to the Twin Cities Comic Con featuring all those people, I'll have my Bismo hat on and probably some kind of Star Wars shirt. So if you happen to run into me, feel free to come up with me. I'm a very average height man. What's up, Agent Spaniel? I'm surprised they didn't do it earlier. Yeah, I mean, in the past, I've seen there's some Star Wars has made an appearance in South Park in the past, and specifically Disney. The Mickey Mouse has been painted as kind of a bad guy in some of their episodes, a caricature. But to see a caricature in 2023, especially right after Ahsoka of Kathleen Kennedy, I mean, things are questionable. And in the last in the Bismo Show technically number 13, the show after Ahsoka, after it was all said and done, I talked about how Ahsoka, for me, a lot of positives. Yes, there were problems, but a lot of what I want from live action Star Wars. And now it's been, a good while since it's been out. I can still confidently say that there's a lot that I really did like from Ahsoka. And recently it's season 2. If you guys didn't see, the season 2 was just announced, or not announced, but is rumored to be greenlit and working in progress. I think Ahsoka season 2 is something to really look forward to. I think that what the number one thing Ahsoka did do correctly, and what I talked about though, is it sets up like an actual story, an actual Star Wars story for us to explore. I mean, we're left off with Ezra just getting back in the new galaxy. There's a lot of stuff to explore there. Now Thrawn back. Like, there's battles to be told, along with Baylan, Shin's story, and Ahsoka and Sabine in this new galaxy. Like, there's a lot that's there. And although, like, some areas of the show weren't fully... How can I put this? Some of the episodes of the show weren't executed to the best. Like episode 7, like, you can't have the penultimate episode be so weak like that. But yeah, no, I am excited for Ahsoka season 2. But beyond that, though, as a Star Wars fan, like, it's hard to get excited because there doesn't seem to be a clear path. Like, all right, we're probably getting the Acolyte show that's coming out, but that takes place like a couple hundred years before like the prequels and everything. So like, how do you get me like super invested? It's like not entirely its own new thing. It's still kind of connected, but like not really. So it's like, sure, that'll be interesting, but like, how does it connect to the Mandoverse and all of that? Like, they're trying to tell the Mandoverse for the most part with a lot of this stuff, and then they'll come back and go to like, oh, let's go during the Empire time. Let's go before that. That's cool and all, but where's like the actual like plan? And that's why I would want, beyond like this Mandoverse stuff, like I want to see it played out, because I think there's obviously a story. I mean, Timothy Zahn, the heir to the Empire. There's a lot to look forward to with all that. But beyond this, though, like, I don't know if I want to see much more Star Wars content that covers all these areas we know so much about. Like, can we go to a completely new galaxy, like 1,000 years in the future, 1,000 years in the past, or something like that? Yeah, be have fun. I think blaming KK or wokeness is a lazy argument. There are issues with Star Wars, but I think there are more to much spectacle, not enough story and dialogue. I mean, yeah, no, I mean, yeah, it's definitely not one person to blame. But when you are the president of something, you are going to get more blame because there are higher expectations for you because you're a leader. At the same time, though, I remember people talking about how Kathleen Kennedy probably wouldn't be around like years ago. Like, oh, she's going to get fired in the year 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 2022, 2023. So I think what South Park makes this just because it seems that, nothing can be done, or like, no matter the amount of like errors that can be played, it doesn't seem like Kathleen Kennedy is going anywhere. I went to see Indiana Jones 5, and that's something they they make fun of in the South Park episode. Indiana Jones 5, I liked it more than episode 4. I'll say that to start. But it's an obvious downgrade. And what Indiana Jones 5 didn't do is make money. And at the end of the day, these companies are trying to make money. They spent $500 million on Indiana Jones 5, and Kathleen Kennedy was a big part of Indiana Jones 5, like actually a big part of it. And they didn't even break even. They didn't even get close to breaking even, actually. Needed to get a $1 billion box office. Let's look at this. Let's look at Indiana Jones 5 box office. I'm actually curious. What do they end off at? $383 million worldwide. What was the what cost? Okay, 300 million was the cost. Okay, so it needed 600 million to break even, because you have to get twice of what you spent, because obviously the movie theaters take a cut and blah blah blah. So you need to make about twice as much as you spent. And yeah, that's a net over $200 million loss. And let's look at Indiana Jones 5 executive producers. Indiana Jones executive producer Kathleen Kennedy. Okay. Yeah, no, that's just like a huge loss of money, though. Is Kennedy involved with Snow White movie? No, I wouldn't say so. Kathleen Kennedy is the president of Lucasfilm, which means basically Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and what, Willow? And that Willow too, like that was just fully canceled and deleted. Like they just fully deleted Willow. That was the worst thing I've ever seen on Disney Plus. If I'm going to be completely honest, did anyone watch the Willow show? Is it even still on there? You even still Bro, they deleted the Willow show off of Disney Plus. That's how down bad. Like they made that show just like last year or whatever. And they deleted it as a tax write-off. Like that's how down bad. Like, all right, make something, make zero money. Boom, deleted. What's up, G? Or sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Snow White is obviously a Disney thing, but Disney's got a lot of problems in itself. It's not just Kathleen Kennedy. Disney as a whole. I just saw that they spent $260 million on She-Hulk. Why are they spending that much money? Like, that doesn't even make sense. I watched like 10 minutes of that show, and the CGI was horrible to warrant that. What's up, Icy Stormy? Yeah, but I think even if they replace her, people are still going to blame whoever replaces her. What do you mean? They're just going to blame the person in charge there? I mean, you're not necessarily wrong. The thing is, they've made so many mistakes that it's hard to come back fully in swing. And that goes across the board. Marvel, like who's out here actually is watching all of like the current Marvel stuff? Loved Ahsoka. Yeah, I really loved Ahsoka. I do think it's the best Disney Plus show overall. The best Star Wars show, but it's not perfect. And there's a couple of really bad stinker episodes. But at the same time, like Ahsoka for me produced 4 or 5 near perfect Star Wars episodes. I mean, I'll take who that's Marvel's gonna flop. Marvel's just gonna flop, bro. Like they don't even advertise the Marvels. They already know it's gonna flop. Like it's bad. Yeah, Dan is spot on. Both Marvel and Star Wars aren't making Disney the. And yeah, the question is though, what are the next action plans? I mean, South Park is calling out, Kathleen Kennedy specifically. But Disney as a brand, like, what can they do? Like, is leadership change an option? Do they get rid of Kathleen Kennedy? Do they get rid of their CEO, Bob Iger? It's tough to say if anything would actually like hard fix Disney as a whole. And it saddens to me to say. I mean, I'm even a Disney shareholder. I'm a pretty large Disney shareholder, so not a fan of the how poorly the company's been ran. I mean, you can't be spending $250 million on a Disney Plus show that nobody's gonna watch, quite frankly, or not that many people are gonna watch She-Hulk. Like, that's just hardcore Marvel fans, and there are not as many as there used to be. Sabine Star Wars, nope, not perfect. You're correct, but it's still really good, especially when you're a Star Wars Rules fan. Pauses an episode. Yeah. Ahsoka just is like, it's just like Rebels and live action. I really did enjoy it. Like episodes 4, 5, 6, perfect. 3 episodes in a row. No doubt in my mind. Episode 7 slows down a little bit. The finale is fine to me, but you'd want a little bit more. Overall, though, I cannot say I'm excited for Ahsoka season 2, just for all that they did right and all that they set up. It really was a setup show, and that's all, in my opinion. That's all Star Wars has got going for it right now. Is that what Ahsoka did and what Ahsoka set up? So if Ahsoka season 2 flops, then what is there to get excited about? Like, gotta bring it back a little bit. Like ultimately, what is a story? A story, and what is an objective of a story for the storyteller? To entertain people, right? How do they do that? They need to get you captivated and bring you into the film or the show. And a strategy recently has been, and not even I guess recently, but trying to interconnect more things so that characters have more weight over time. I mean, as simple as just saying the original Star Wars trilogy, rather than them being a one-off movie. We've got 3 movies to watch those characters kind of develop, and the movies all have weight to them. Now, the problem with where Star Wars is at right now is, let's take a step back. Let's take a step back and just look at all the different things they've released. Okay, as far as shows, so yeah, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, like, it's kind of a similar area. Ahsoka's kind of a similar area. Then we get to like Andor. It's like, oh, that's not really connected with the shows that are coming out right now. How do you not confuse like the normie fan, or even like let's say just like an older person that might be confusing to them? Like, wait, so is Andor take place during then? Is Mandalorian after the sequels or before the sequels? And then we get things like, all right, we're gonna drop an animated show that's during the Clone Wars. All right, the next show, The Acolyte. Let's take another step back. We're going this way. Acolyte takes place 200 years before all that, before the prequels. It's like, okay, how does it affect the Mandoverse and like the story we're trying to tell to get to the movie? And then boom, okay, 2 years from now, Rey movie. All right, we're going back ahead now to past the sequels. You guys can see like how confusing this really can get, though, for like a normie viewer. And the word I'm looking for here is dilution. Star Wars is extremely diluted right now because there are so many different things going on right now. I think that, honestly, with the little good, like the good that they had with Ahsoka, like the somewhat success that they had and the good things they did, I think they should quadruple down, and rather than just, chucking a couple aimless darts all over the place and just hoping something will stick, is really commit and go all in, all of your resources to, if you're going to make a show, make it a high quality show with no filler. Very premium. Game of Thrones quality. Oh, early Game of Thrones quality. But quality over quantity. Don't just like say, well, I don't know, this didn't work. Let's make a show 200 years before that. Oh, people aren't liking that. I wonder why. It's just a one-off show, not related to anything. Yeah. But yeah, if I was them, I think the move would be to just cancel everything except Ahsoka Season 2. And just make it into, just to make Ahsoka Season 2 into a movie, a high-budget, very meticulously crafted movie, and have that, a ton of hype build up to it. Release that, and then have a third movie. Well, think of Ahsoka Season 1 as one movie, then a movie, and then a second movie. I don't know. That's probably what I would do. Put all their eggs in one basket, because this, put a little bit of resources here, there, and there. This diversification is not working for them. I think the actors should have been a little bit more loosely with acting. Don't be so good. Show more emotion. Yeah. Some of the actors were kind of lifeless. It looks like they didn't have a big shooting window for this. It looked like it shot pretty quick. If a football/sports team keep losing over and over, the coach starts taking some heat and has to answer for their plan moving forward. If they triple down and keep losing, they get fired. Yeah, exactly that. That's the problem with where, like, Kathleen is at. It's not necessarily like, oh, people like hate her because this. Nobody said that. Well, somebody probably said. I think what we're getting at here, what South Park is kind of getting at here, is, well, Star Wars has taken some repeated L's that you can look at from the numbers. Just look at viewership compared to how much they spend. And it's exactly that, though. The head coach has to be looked at for that. And that's where the first change comes into play. And yeah, I would have to agree, though. I think, what was it? JS there 4T said the replacement would just get blamed if things are bad. And to some extent, yes, but if you're going to change the head coach, you might as well change some of the other people running the show. Obviously, one person doesn't do everything, and that one person probably, brought in a lot of the other people too. So you might have to drain the swamp a little bit more than that. I still have faith in Filoni. I wish they would give him the reins to just have all the resources. I mean, they did give him a lot of resources for Ahsoka, but it's like Ahsoka's being produced at the same time. Like, okay, Skeleton Crew, this no-name show is getting produced. Acolyte's going on. Like, they got to share sets, share resources. Like, they just kind of get a show that's like kind of decent and then put it out there. Like, well, shot really quick, and to be honest, like you said, they should have just made it into a movie or whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is for all these shows. Like, bro, Ahsoka, the show, is really good. It has really good episodes, and then it has just straight filler. Make that into a movie? Imagine watching some of those best moments. Like, how much harder the Anakin flashbacks would have hit on screen. Traveling to that new galaxy on screen. Sure, that might have been ambitious for one movie, but I don't know. Let's think of it like this. Like, let's say this movie would be 2.5 hours long. Could be it could be a 2-part movie. But even so, let's say 2.5 hours. And that's what? 2 times 60 plus 30, like 150 minutes. Let's go with 3 hours. Let's go with a 3-hour movie. Okay, no, something like that. 150 minutes or so. There is an episode of Ahsoka, like, I don't know, the longest episode was probably like 45 minutes before any credits, is what I'm trying to say. But let's think of it from a story perspective. They probably could have made episode 1 and 2 into one episode. Like, some of those scenes were a little bit slower. Episode 3 was a very short episode. 4, 5, and 6 could have been a really good middle part of the movie. Yeah, no, they could have totally made that just into a movie, or at least formatted it. But yeah, this whole thing should have just been a trilogy. And ultimately, I mean, if they want to make money, they need to be making movies. Like, Disney Plus is not even profitable. It's still not even profitable. Like, let me look this up. Like, Disney Plus profitable. Disney said it cut losses at its streaming video service to $500 million compared to $1 billion a year ago. So, yeah, currently Disney Plus this year, that was reported in August, it only lost them $500 million. You just kind of even out those edges, and I'm sure it'll be fine. It's just so backwards, though. Like, $250 million for She-Hulk. I didn't watch that. I don't know many people that did. Like, $80 million for Kenobi. Let's just get a, like, half-serviced, half-baked piece of bread and serve it to our customers and call it good and call it Star Wars. It's just... yeah. There isn't much love being put into it, and... I would say for most of the projects, I would say there was still a good amount of love put into Ahsoka, but the executives probably made Dave, make it into a show or whatever. And I suppose this is all leading to a movie that Heirs to the Empire movie will hit super hard, but why are we... What I'm confused about, though, is why are we doing even Ahsoka Season 2 as a show then? And what, we're gonna do like Mando Season 4 and then just wrap it all up in a movie? Like, what's going on with that? Like, how do we get to the movie if we just keep making these shows that not that many people watch? Like, I was frankly disappointed and surprised by the Ahsoka numbers. They weren't horrible. But they weren't that great. They weren't like shocking either, you know? That's just facts. And to be quite frank, like Disney Plus is just not a very good streaming service. There's really not like it just doesn't have like a lot of honestly IP that like comes on it. Like what are like The Simpsons like the top thing that's watched on there? Is my like I look at my subscriptions being used right now. Is my Disney when's the last time I used Disney Plus? Oh, when Ahsoka's finale came out, that's the last time I used it. Like I don't know. I find more value in other streaming services I use because there's like shows that like are interesting to watch. Star Wars movies equals money, 100%. Yeah, as long as they don't reshoot the whole thing like Solo. And there's multiple reasons as to why Solo did what it did, you know. And that's another poor decision that ultimately, whether it was made by this person or not, this person was the leader at the time. Preach it, Bismo. What's up, Dustin? I completely agree. Take out the fluff and give us the meat. Yeah. I really did. Like, that's what I mean, though. There were some really perfect moments in Ahsoka, but the fluff really waters it down. Like, if they just gave me all the meat of Ahsoka and made that into a movie, I would be like, this is the perfect thing ever. People would be annoyed of how much I would talk about it, to be honest. But it's hard to defend like Ahsoka's the best thing ever when yeah, it has some of the best moments and some of my favorite moments ever, but it's not the best thing ever. And it's not my fault. It's the people that made it. Made a bunch of filler in it. Like, come on. Ahsoka Cast said, the set experience was amazing. Everyone wants to come back for more. That's great to hear. How about we come back and make a movie, though? Good. Let the hate. Oh, God. Isn't Bluey the main thing keeping Disney Plus alive? What even is Bluey, bro? Is this like a kid's show? Apparently you can just watch it free. Apparently you can just watch it, most of it. Bro, is this, what even is this? Right now, I don't even have Disney Plus because I got it canceled in the middle of watching Ahsoka, so I had to find a free app to watch it. That's what I'm saying. Like, why do I even have this? Well, I think I have some kind of bundle thing, but if I paid for it, it would be canceled by now. And it wouldn't be reopened until there's another show. And quite frankly, like, if I... It's tough. I'm interested. Like, I love Star Wars, but... How can I get motivated to watch all these different shows that don't even connect to each other? What's the point? Bluey isn't even made by Disney? Oh my gosh. The guys who made Avatar Last Bender did it because they wanted to. I don't really feel that here. Yeah. Dave Filoni worked on Avatar The Last Airbender. It's tough, like, you don't know what's going on with Dave Filoni or what's in his mind, or even like Jon Favreau. Like, how much of Disney do they have to go through to make this stuff? Like, are they just not being able to do what they want, like to the fullest? Because I feel like I don't know. It's tough to say. In class before I go, I got posted my first art video. Nice. Louis has better, more intelligent writing than any of the Disney shows. I mean, I believe it. Oh, you know, I would be lying to myself though. Mando season 1, Mando season 2. There was a different atmosphere at the time, and I mean, Mando season 1 and 2 is really good Star Wars, but then we get Mando season 3, and it's like it gets back to the Disney like, all right, we forgot how to like write something that's like a twist or like good write. Let's just like make something that's kind of a story and then put 4 or 5 filler episodes in there and put 3 episodes of actual story. It could have been done in an hour-and-a-half movie, but that's all right. We'll stretch it across 8 weeks. And on top of that, rather than releasing all of our episodes at once, we'll do one weekly release, and sometimes that episode could be 40 minutes long, minus 5 minutes of credits, so 35 minutes, or it could be a 23-minute episode before credits. I mean, heck, I've got anime episodes that have more going on in one episode than that. If he's going to do 8 episodes, make them non-filler. That's what I'm saying. Like, how is it they make an 8-episode season, but they can't even do that without stretching it? Like, that's hard for them to write 8 episodes or like make 8 episodes. How do you have to stretch the story in an 8-episode show? It should all be action. It should all be relevant. And if he's going to do 8 episodes, make them non-filler. Yep. I wonder if stuff got caught in the episodes too. Maybe. My niece's favorite show. I feel like Disney's making them hold back. Definitely. I mean, I feel like Disney and like Lucasfilm is like the Jedi Council. It's like the Jedi Council where they're just naive and stubborn and it's got to be done this way, you know? Don't make it too good, because if we make it too good, then we won't be able to outdo ourselves again. Where is the like attitude of let's make the best thing we can possibly make and then let's do it again? Yeah, Dave wrote the whole season. Did. But I'm not convinced that I don't know. I cannot be convinced that some of those rougher moments were all his fault, though. It's not all on the writer. It's up to the director. It's up to all the producers to figure out what's actually done. And I think the writing for if you look at it from like a writing perspective, like, all right, whole new galaxy, Anakin flashback where he finishes Ahsoka training, riding Purgles, you know, Thrawn's back, zombie stormtroopers, all that, absolutely crazy stuff, unheard of. I don't know if it's like a budget thing, like they spent $250 million on She-Hulk, so let's spend like $100 million on Ahsoka and call it good. Like, I just know it could have been better. That's the sad part. I mean, anything could be better, but you know, it's tough. Yeah, and I don't think it was all the writer either, whoever directed episodes and all. I'm hoping in season 2 they actually have more emotions, just like in Rebels. Yeah, there's got to be more emotion, more draw. Yeah. They just can't seem to get out of their way. The potential is there, but it's just a tale of missed opportunities. Sad to see, really. Yeah. And it does, I agree, and it does make me wonder, like, because Star Wars is so complex, without like the George Lucas there to like advance technology so you can actually show like the Star Wars at a much grander scale, without somebody there trying to, you know, actively make the movie industry better, are we just going to be stuck with this mediocre stuff that there isn't like, this is how we do things, let's not try to improve it? Like, it just like, we're just stuck in technology that's outdated? Or is Star Wars just meant to be animated? Like, if they're going to make Star Wars shows, is it just supposed to be animated? I would say the animated shows are objectively better Star Wars than a lot of stuff they've done, but with George Lucas's episodes 1 through 6, and even Disney, you gotta give them credit. They did make, like, what made them money? Rogue One. That made them a lot of money, and it was really good. Even technically the sequels all like made them money. I mean, there's no secret. If you don't release a Star Wars movie for 10 years plus and release one, people are gonna go see it. But making just a Star Wars movie in general that isn't like so niche, and it's just like the shows. Don't make a show called Skeleton Crew, and how are like random normies gonna watch it if like me, more hardcore, like I'm not even sure if I'd be watching that right away. Yeah, the story was great, but I feel like it could have, like, the story was so good that like it would have almost been better just in my imagination if I read it. It was fun to watch. There was some really great stuff, some tear jerking moments. I mean, again, episodes 4, 5, and 6, perfect. 1, 2, 3, a little bit slow, a little bit, what's with this, what's with that. They really killed a ton of momentum for episode 7. I really do think if episode 7 continued that path of perfectness and they rode out the rest of the season, it would have changed a lot. You cannot not take a step back. Like, you can't make the middle part of your season the best part of the show, right? You gotta go off with a bang, otherwise people are not gonna talk about it as much. Yeah. Ultimately, it does set up a lot, and I'm excited to see more of this Mantivor's Ahsoka season 2. Like, I'll definitely watch it. I'll be excited. But it really is clear that it doesn't seem like there's a plan, and they just do it based off of like what works and what doesn't. And now that nothing has been working, what is their plan? They don't even have anything now. Make sure to drop a like on the stream if you haven't already. I don't know how much longer I'll be rambling, just because big day tomorrow with the Twin Cities Comic Con. Hopefully I get to meet Timothy Zahn. Because ultimately, something like an example of something they did perfect. Thrawn was perfect. The voice was perfect. Obviously they used the same actor from Rebels, but great to see Thrawn at the very least was brought to life very well. I don't know if I'll get a chance to get a book signed, but I'll definitely bring my Thrawn book in case. That'll be fun. Agent Spanius says, one thing I'll say is that too much of a good thing isn't good, i.e. if every project was consistently Empire Strikes Back level of quality, then the good things might not feel as special. I hear you. It's a dilution thing. Ultimately, not everything can be perfect. Right? Like, some things are going to be better, some things are going to be worse. That's just life. Some people are better at math. Some people are better at reading, grammar or whatever. Some people are fast. Some people are slow. But just like a movie, some movies are funnier than others. Some are more serious. Some movies are good and some are bad. Some shows are bad. Some are good. Some episodes of shows are better or worse than others. Agreed. I feel like there should always be an attempt to make something special, though. There should still be an effort put in. Maybe, yeah, we don't need to have like the crazy most like action out of anything every single episode, but in slower episodes where there is dialogue, maybe let's try to make it really convincing. The emotions are there, like we're saying, like the acting's on point and all that. So that when we get to those bigger moments, they hit harder, and they don't land stale because of previous setups done too far. Dude, take some pics at Comic-Con. Yeah, I'll definitely will. I've never really been to one, so I'm curious as to what'll be going on. It does say that there's a Timothy Zahn talking about Thrawn specifically panel at 5 tomorrow, so that's gonna be like the main thing I'm excited about. I think I'm gonna be missing the Clone Wars panel, which stinks, but I'm most excited about the Thrawn and being able to see Timothy Zahn in person, just because I really liked his books, really loved his books. Continuing to read the newest ones. I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a book signed. I don't really know how it works though. I'll just bring it something just in case. But yeah, I think that's about gonna wrap it up. I'm trying to look. My schedule should be good next week, guys. Same time, 8 p.m. CST. I'd love to talk about the con with you guys, and also just talk about more of what's going on. Another announcement: I'll be joining the Stay on Target live show on the 15th of November at their normal show time, which is 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Having me back on, that'll be a lot of fun, and I'm curious what these games are going to be. They had a fun game on last night. The Stay on Target game with the darts. Bumps. Yeah, it's been a long week though. I gotta say, like I've just been it's been really busy using my brain harder than I've used my brain in a while. So it's nice to kind of just be able to take a break and chat with some of y'all about some Star Wars, good and bad, bad and good. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. I'll be live again next week, same time, 8 p.m. CST. Yeah, thanks again. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be epic. Make sure to go check out Stay on Target. Done a bunch of collabs with them already, and more to come. Obviously, being on there on the 15th. That's gonna wrap up for tonight. See you, Dan. See you. Agent Spaniel. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a ton of fun, Dustin. See you, Icy. Thanks, Icy. See you, Sabine. Star Wars. JQ. I'm peace out now.